With the commitment of Casey Poe looming, and a lot of Oklahoma fans wondering exactly where Bill Bedenbaugh and the staff are going to go at the offensive line position, we've told you not to fear, not to worry. And although some of you might say it's still three-star university, hey, look at what Bill Bedenbaugh has done with 3 stars. He's only put them into the NFL to go make big-time dollars, and he can do that with the high-tier offensive linemen as well. And today, the Oklahoma Sooners have decided to offer another offensive lineman out of the state of Oklahoma, Josh Aisosa. I believe that's how you say it. I think we've had him on the podcast, and it's been a while, but I think I said it right. The 6'3.5", 305-pound offensive tackle out of Santa Fe High School. Now, what does this mean for the Oklahoma Sooners? It's something we got to talk about. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and jump down in the comments below and let me know what y'all think. Because the Oklahoma Sooners are offering Josh Aisosa, does that mean they are trying to go ahead and lock up their offensive line room now instead of waiting on some of their top prospects? So, Josh Aisosa, a 6'3.5" or 6'4", potentially by that point. Sometimes people have growth spurts. 305-pound offensive tackle out of Edmonds, Santa Fe here in Oklahoma. Just recently, literally as I'm recording this, picked up an offer from Bill Bedenbaugh in the University of Oklahoma. And Josh Aisosa, listen, he's going to be one of the top offensive line prospects in Oklahoma. And if he has a good senior season, you might be able to see him continue to rise throughout the recruiting rankings and even potentially reach 4-star status because, well, when you look at offensive line talent, there's offensive linemen in the 247 composite rankings, but sometimes that top tier talent is just not there. And I think this is one of the years where you don't see the depth necessarily in the top end guys, but I definitely think there's depth down here in these 3- and 4-star kids who ultimately it seems like Bill Bedenbaugh really does his best work with in developing them to go be NFL talent. And when you look at what potentially Oklahoma now is losing out on the offensive tackle position, we've kind of talked about it before, but Bennett Warren has been a guy that we felt like has been trending to Michigan or Tennessee. And well, I've told you if Oregon was still in the mix, he'd probably be an Oregon Duck. But Bennett Warren at this point, it looks like with the recent offer going out, will not be an Oklahoma Sooner. We're going to continue to try to follow up with him, but it's gotten a little dark in that recruitment. So that tells you a potential announcement on his side might be coming. But then you've also got the offensive tackle Grant Brix, who is probably one of the most highly talked about offensive tackles in this class and one that Oklahoma definitely needs to land. Now, this is not saying Oklahoma's not going to get Grant Brix. Grant Brix can either play the tackle position or he can play the guard position. So regardless how you look at it, Grant Brix, I think, is still on the board for Oklahoma, but it doesn't seem like anybody really knows where he's going because you've got Nebraska insiders and Kansas State insiders along with Oklahoma people that just feel really good about the situation. And you only really see team insiders putting in predictions for Grant Brix. So that tells you nobody really knows where the kid is going. But outside of that, you've got Oklahoma potentially looking at Fox Crater still, the Oregon commit that has actually been to the University of Oklahoma, and a guy that a lot of people just forget about, although it's starting to seem like that commitment might stick. Obviously, Marquise Easley is also supposed to be committing here. It also looks like Oklahoma now might be losing out on that one, as it sounds like that will be a Georgia win. So if you're Oklahoma, you've already got Isaiah Autry, the 6'6", 290-pound offensive tackle, and the 554th ranked player in the 247 composite rankings in this class. So far, your lone offensive lineman. But when you look at the interior side of the offensive line, so your guards and your centers, yes, Oklahoma, they've missed out on some of their targets, but they still got Eddie Pierre-Louis that they could be trying to go after. The 6'3", 335-pound offensive lineman. You've started to see the predictions flow in for Eugene Brooks, the 6'3", 325-pound offensive lineman out of Sierra Canyon in Chatsworth, California, another 3-star. But again, Oklahoma does its best work with the 3-star and the lower 4-star guys. It seems like those are the guys that Bill Bedenbaugh is really able to mold and develop. Now, you're still in the mix for a Liam Andrews out of Brookline, Massachusetts, but I don't really favor Oklahoma in this recruitment yet. But also, it's not like you're really hearing a lot about this recruitment. But South Carolina is doing something on the offensive line, and it seems like Liam Andrews might trend a little bit that direction. And then we've talked about Casey Poe, the 4-star, 6'4.5", 290-pound inside offensive lineman out of Lindale, Texas, potentially trending to the Alabama Crimson Tide, where he's had previous family members that have played for Bear Bryant. So now you're looking at the Oklahoma Sooners potentially landing an offensive line class of Eugene Brooks, a 3-star inside offensive lineman right now. You could be looking at Eddie Pierre-Louis, a 4-star offensive lineman. And then you could be looking at guys like Isaiah Autry, another 3-star offensive tackle that is currently committed to the University of Oklahoma. Grant Bricks, a 4-star and top 100 kid to the University of Oklahoma. And then Josh Aisosa out of Edmond, Santa Fe in Oklahoma. You could be seeing all of those guys commit, and Oklahoma still putting up a fine offensive line class. And again, just as we've told you so many times, you don't really need to worry, because want you to put it in perspective like this. If you're an offensive line recruit and you look at the University of Oklahoma and you see all of the young talent that they have brought into this team and what's leaving, yeah, like there's going to be an opportunity to be a key depth rotational piece into this offense. But at the same time, there are established sophomores and true freshmen that will be ahead of you that you're going to have to be able to go in there and beat out. And that's not necessarily a given and a guarantee. So the Oklahoma Sooners are in a good position as it sits for offensive linemen. The question is, and something that I've been diving a little bit into in 2025, what does the offensive line position look like for Oklahoma? Because you got Michael, and I believe it's pronounced Fassi, the 6'4", 285-pound, 4-star or 5-star offensive tackle that Oklahoma could be potentially looking at, that I feel like Oklahoma's in a good position for. We'll be having him on the podcast soon, actually, for an interview. But there are other guys out of Nevada in the Bishop Gorman area that Oklahoma could be potentially getting at the offensive line position. So 2025, I think, is the year where you've got to go have a big year on the offensive line because of what you're losing in 2024. And the offensive line class in 2025, from top to bottom, it's just deep. It's got depth. And I think Oklahoma can land some top-tier prospects out of the state of Texas and out of Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas, Nevada as well. But the Oklahoma Sooners, they make a big-time offer for the 3-star offensive lineman, Josh Aisosa out of Edmond, Santa Fe. And you guys know I'm always excited when Oklahoma not only offers in-state prospects, but offers the prospects from, well, my alma mater, Edmond, Santa Fe. So want to hear from you guys. Go ahead, jump down in the comments below and let me know what y'all's thoughts are just around the offensive line and this recent offer from Bill Bedenbaugh and the University of Oklahoma.